Sorry, fellas, you're not getting a guitar on this one. But Bruins friends, for the first time in what feels like a while, it's time to hug it out. Because that is a 4-3 overtime win against the St. Louis Blues. Welcome back into the net, everybody. I gotta say, going into this road trip, I did not expect the Bruins to drop three of the four, but also I did not expect it to have every single game go to overtime. And even though two of those overtime periods were like 45 seconds maximum, it still felt like another overtime. I'm gonna put my lamp on because I hate the shadow I hate the shadow over my face. And yes, I know my neck is kind of messed up. I have CeraVe for that. Now, just because the Bruins won this game doesn't mean that there were problems. Chemistry last night, a massive problem. The Bruins could not string together a single pass, and it is a miracle that we ended the first period tied. And speaking of which, let's talk about the first period. First period, the only thing I really have to say about the Bruins' defensive effort is that Swayman had to make two superhero saves within the first 5 minutes. That's not a recipe for success. You cannot have your goalie. You cannot drop the puck, and then in less than 5 minutes in, already have your goalie playing in some hero puck. You cannot have that happen. Pavel Buchnevich should not have had that much real estate to do anything. And you just let it go. Granted, since Carlo is injured, we don't really have someone who can stop a play from... we don't really have one of our key contributors in stopping plays before they happen. But even still, this should not have happened. And Jack was arguing that forward should have played tonight. I don't entirely think so. First of all, I don't even know if forward is healthy. If the fact that he hasn't played in this, in this long, kind of makes me think that he's injured. But I have no immediate information on that. Okay, never mind. After looking it up, he's only played 20 games this season because he's been injured so often, and he's currently on IR. Well, damn. Anyway, let's get to the first goal of the game. On a pretty good shift from the second line, which is Marchand, Coyle, and DeBrusk, because our top line is Boqvist, Geeky, Pasternak still. I still don't entirely understand this line, but I'm not the one making it. But at the same time, I don't know why Boqvist is on the top. I don't know why Boqvist is that high up. I really don't. Why is he there? Anyway, back to the first goal. A really good shift from the second line, and DeBrusk tries to tuck it in past Jordan Binnington, and Binnington makes a kick save. I hate that guy. I really do not like Jordan Binnington, but DeBrusk takes the rebound. He pushes it slowly to the middle, slowly to the other side of the goal. Behind Coyle. Coyle is there to pick it up and get up to Marchand, and who leads Binnington out of the net enough to grab it and put it in. And that's 1-0 Bruins, baby. Don't get too comfy because less than 2 minutes later, the Blues get a completely uncontested zone entry. I really want to see the Bruins try and make entering their zone much more hellish than they've made it as of late. Like not Capo Kakinen. Kasperi Kapanen just basically strolls up in there, all high and mighty, he doesn't really get challenged at all. He shoots it on Swayman, and he circles back around, and by the time the defense understands what's happening, everybody has overcommitted it's so down low that it just leaves Kevin Hayes is open at the open and to put a bomb past Swayman, and that is how we get to 1-1. And don't even stop there. Because I don't think I've mentioned this, but I really do not like goals getting reversed for offsides. I really and honestly, especially when it's like so minimal. Well, I feel like if all you need for offsides is like 1 or 2 frames of your sideline cameras going at 24 frames a second, and if you just need like 1 frame of the skate being over the line before the puck, like, I feel like you still deserve to have that goal scored on you, because it's so minimal. It's so minimal that your defense still that the misplay is still the reason why that it got scored on you, and that essentially happened with Kevin Hayes for the second time this that essentially was what happened in Kevin Hayes' not second goal. Well, he backs up and takes the puck with his skates going over the line, and the puck just barely getting past it right after his skates go over the blue line, and he just has a breakaway. That, like, this is like a 2-on-1 situation. I think it's Groswick in the middle. I forget. I think it might have been Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk just gets toasted. Just put in the oven for 3,500 degrees for 2 seconds, and he comes out burnt. And Jimmy Hayes has a goal until the Bruins video staff gets it overturned, which, props to video staff. That's what we have them here for. But at the same time, that should have been the wake-up call for defensemen. That should have been the wake-up call for everybody there. Into the second period, and this is where Boqvist makes it known that he's on the top line. For good reason. Because without him, this goal doesn't happen. In a bit of a lull in play, Boqvist enters the offensive zone. McAvoy's behind him. Boqvist goes down enough to drag the defense down with him. Then he back checks it to McAvoy, who waits to get the puck enough to where it makes the defenseman in whiff when he brings it back and did anybody know that Charlie McAvoy had this deadly of a wrister? And it was insane. It was insane. Like, Binnington didn't even flinch. Just lets a goal go by past him, and you're like, what? I love Charlie McAvoy, man. I love him. There's a reason why I am wearing his shirt right now. It is snowing. God damn it. Oh man, I thought I was done with this shit. It got me $75 the other day. I shouldn't be complaining. And that's basically the vibe for the next next little bit. We're just humming along and we're just humming along fine, and everything's going great until whoa, hey. Look, I know rubber is bouncy. Rubber is very bouncy. I don't know if you know this, but yeah, rubber's is bouncy. It's kind of designed to be that way. But I don't entirely know if that wholly represents how janky the rebound control from both goalies tonight were. Bennington wasn't really that great, and Swayman wasn't really that great. Both goalies essentially just turned into Flubber this game, and that poor rebound control allowed for a shot from Jordan Kyrou that bounced off of Swayman's pad, and Jake Neighbors right there to pick it up. Which before we go anywhere, Jack Edwards, I love you, man. Please know how to pronounce things. His last name is Neighbors, not Nebers. And for the love of God, the way he pronounces Pavel Buchnevich is hilarious. Buchnevich. Like, it's like you pronounce that as if you're like the way he pronounces it is as if he's trying to say Buchnevich, but he's getting like a chill up his back the moment that he says it, like Pavel Buchnevich. There really wasn't anything else that happened in the second period except for a breakaway from Jake DeBrusk that ended up just bouncing off of Bennington's pads. And honestly, I think Jake, you gotta pick the puck up a little bit. You gotta lift it off the ice a little bit. Come on. And now we get to the third period, which is where the fun starts to happen. It's where the fun starts to happen because Braden Shen ends up going for hooking against David Pastrnak, and then in less than a minute later, Oscar Sundqvist goes for interference on Charlie McAvoy, and Sundqvist, he's not liked around here. Specifically for crimes against Matt Grzelcyk. And he deserved this one. And I'll say the interference call against Lindholm that happens later in the third period. I don't think that's necessarily a call. I think that's a play that happens that's a play that happens several times throughout the course of a game, in every single NHL game. I think that it was just a little bit too late, I guess. Is Lindholm's contact with Kapanen, but it's not. That is not interference in my book. Although that's saying it from my book, not the NHL book. It's probably interference where the NHL is concerned, but man, that just sucked. But we're not there yet. We're at the Bruins with 2-man advantage on the with over a minute of it. How do we mess it up? We don't. We end up because Marchand ends up putting us up 3-2, and it's another play of the goalie does not have good rebound control. Bennington, Marchand fires it off of Bennington. Bennington cannot hold on to it. Not Jake DeBrusk. JVR ends up corralling it. He gets it out to Pastrnak, who's right where he always is. And since it's Pasta, everybody automatically respects the shot, which I'm hoping opens up more avenues for him, dishing out apples. I think that when enough players start to respect your shot, to where they're like sometimes even double teaming the lane that you usually shoot from, that means you're one of them. That absolutely means you're one of the elite players in the league. It's why usually whenever there's a Capitals game, people are usually guarding that right face-off dot, because that is where Ovechkin likes to shoot from. How many? It has been like 19 years of him in the league, and you have not, and you've decided, we're just not going to guard that one spot. In any case, yes, we end up going. In any case, Pasta has the puck. People are respecting his shot. He winds up and he passes to Marchand, who has the back door wide open. And that's 3-2 Boston. So we don't shoot ourselves in the foot on a 5-on-3. But during the latter half of Sundqvist's penalty, we end up taking a too many men on the ice penalty. That is the only proper response to a too many men on the ice penalty. Is just frustratedly beating your head against the table, as you ask why over and over again, with every single beat. And thankfully we don't get scored on that. But what we do get scored on is this Lindholm interference penalty on Kasperi Kapanen. Again, I don't necessarily think that penalty was really that big, but Sundqvist ends up scoring on it. In the last 5 minutes go by, we're into overtime, and man, I didn't expect Robert Thomas to get bullied like this by McAvoy, but you know what, but you know what, Rob, he wants to push you around. And he will. On a clearing attempt from Thomas, McAvoy is just breathing down his neck and manages to wrestle the puck away from him, to where Robert Thomas just falls down. McAvoy circles back around into the offensive zone, and the lone defenseman just backing up the entire time. He is waiting for this pass to Pastrnak. And it never happens. I think even Binnington is waiting for this pass to Pastrnak. And that's sort of what I mean is that players are very much respecting this, Pasternak's shot. In fact, Binnington is so respecting it that he is pretty much loading up on his left leg to push over to the right, as soon as the pass goes, and it never happens. Because Binnington leaves the right corner pretty open. He leaves it pretty open, and McAvoy just wrists it up top shelf. Fantastic shot from McAvoy, and fantastic play from him. Like, legitimately, this might have been McAvoy's best game all season. This might have been his best game all season. Not the best Bruins game all season. And Pastrnak in the passing game. Pastrnak in the passing game during low danger chances. Kind of not great. It feels like Pastrnak is not really putting in 100% of the time. And, a lot of players are going to have a few times where they're just not going to be entirely on. you know, that bad line change from Brad Marchand in 2019 against the Blues that allowed Alex Pietrangelo to score on them with 5 seconds left in the period. But even still, like, come on, you've been in the league for like 9 years at this point. You're now in the top 10 in career scoring for the Bruins. I think it's time that you develop a passing game, my guy. I don't entirely think that the defense was terrible. Parker Wotherspoon was a pretty good surprise tonight. Lindholm, I would have loved to see him be doing a little bit more. Shattenkirk was a little bit iffy, and but other than that, pretty decent game for the Bruins. You get a little bit off. You get today off. You get, but I think you have tomorrow against the Devils, and I will probably be. That will probably be another game where I'm putting it out on the following night, because if the trash bags and the giant thing of laundry are not evident, I'm moving back to school tomorrow. We're going to be back in that stupid dorm building for the next 4 months. And it's the only time that you will see me doing anything off of that. The only time that you'll be seeing me doing anything away from that dorm over the next 4 months is when I am is during spring break, during which, as much as I love the Letty, it's getting cut. I also need to renew my driver's license, which is why it's getting cut. But other than that, good way to wrap up the road trip. Wish the road trip could have gone a little bit better. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see you guys Tuesday. Take care.